Hey everyone, I am so thrilled you're here. Look, today our goal is to completely demystify some of that complex tech terminology that's literally everywhere right now. But more importantly, we're going to empower you with a highly practical, usable skill. If you've been feeling at all overwhelmed by the sheer volume of jargon surrounding artificial intelligence lately, take a breath, because you are in exactly the right place. We're going to break the whole thing down, step by step, straight to clarity. By the time we're done here, you won't just understand what AI is, you'll know exactly how to command it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the basics of AI, then we'll look under the hood at how LLMs actually work, move right into mastering prompt engineering, and finally, we'll wrap up by building a perfect prompt.
All right, Section 1, the basics of AI. Let's separate the facts from the fiction.
So first things first, there's a very clean separation between general AI and narrow AI. General AI is that independent, conscious system you see in sci-fi movies. But in reality, we operate entirely in the realm of narrow AI. These are highly specialized systems that are just focused on specific tasks, like translating languages, recommending your next movie, or generating text. So we really don't need to worry about Hollywood magic here. We are simply working with incredibly capable, specialized tools.
Now, the real foundation of this modern narrow AI is machine learning. Instead of a human programmer sitting there writing out explicit, line-by-line instructions dictating, if this happens, do that, we just feed the system massive amounts of data. From there, the system actually learns to recognize patterns and figure out the rules entirely on its own.
And that naturally brings us to generative AI. When we talk about these tools writing emails for us, or writing code, or creating cool images, we are specifically looking at this modern wave. It takes those machine learning capabilities, all those patterns it recognized, and uses them not just to analyze information, but to generate entirely new, original content from scratch.
Moving on to Section 2, how LLMs actually work. Let's zoom in a little closer and check out the engines powering today's generative tools.
First up, we need to talk about tokens. You see, when you type a sentence into an AI, it doesn't actually read words the way you and I do. It breaks your text down into tokens. You can think of tokens kind of like syllables, or honestly, even better, like puzzle pieces. A short word might just be a single puzzle piece, while a longer or more complex word might get chopped up into 2 or 3 pieces. So the word apple is just one token, but a word like unbelievable might be broken into 3. The AI processes these individual tokens to mathematically understand what we're saying.
But how does the AI actually know what to do with all those puzzle pieces? Well, that's where training data comes in. Long before you ever interact with an LLM, which, by the way, stands for Large Language Model, it spends months studying absolutely vast data sets. It is essentially reading a massive chunk of the public internet, books, articles, you name it. By studying all this historical training data, the AI learns the complex rules of grammar, facts about our world, and most importantly, how humans naturally arrange those token puzzle pieces to communicate.
Okay, the third component is the context window, and this is absolutely critical to understand. A context window acts exactly like the AI's short-term working memory during your specific conversation. It is literally how much text the AI can keep in its head at any one time. If your conversation goes on too long and exceeds that context window, the AI will actually forget the instructions or details you gave it at the very beginning of the chat.
So, let's recap. We've got puzzle pieces, we've got a vast historical knowledge of how they fit together, and we have a short-term memory to keep track of our current chat. But that leads us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? How does the AI actually write the brand new text that we're asking it for? The answer is probability-based text generation. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates the reality of the tech. The AI doesn't think about the answer. It's not pondering or reflecting on your question. Instead, based on all the patterns it learned from its training data, it's just mathematically calculating the probability of what the very next token should be. It predicts the next piece, and then the next piece, and then the next. It is essentially a highly advanced, incredibly sophisticated version of your smartphone's autocomplete. Crazy, right?
All right, Section 3, Mastering Prompt Engineering. This is all about how we effectively communicate with the AI to steer that massive probability engine.
Let's define this clearly. Prompt engineering is simply communicating with AI effectively to guide its behavior. Now, I really want you to reframe how you think about this. This is not some scary, highly technical computer science thing. Think of it more like learning to be a good manager. You are the clear communicating director, and the AI is your brilliant, super eager, but very literal intern. If you give the intern vague instructions, you're going to get vague results. But if you engineer a specific prompt, you get extraordinary results.
So why do we bother engineering prompts instead of just typing a quick, lazy sentence? Well, there are three main goals here. First, controlling outputs. We want to make sure the length, the tone, and the format match exactly what we need. Second, reducing hallucinations. Because the AI is predicting text based on probability, sometimes it predicts things that sound super confident but are totally made up. A well-engineered prompt anchors the AI in facts and completely stops it from guessing. And third, increasing consistency. We want reliable, high-quality results every single time we run that prompt.
Which brings us to Section 4, building a perfect prompt. Let's zoom all the way in on the exact anatomy of a highly effective interaction. So the crucial point here is that a perfect prompt is not just a single scattered thought. It's constructed using 5 distinct pieces of anatomy. First is the role. You have to tell the AI who it is acting as. Second is the task. This is the direct action of what you actually want it to do. Third is context, giving it the necessary background info so it isn't just guessing in the dark. Fourth are constraints. You need to set boundaries or limitations on what it should absolutely not do. And finally, the output format, telling it exactly what the final structure should look like. When you combine these 5 elements, you take total, absolute control of the probability engine.
Let's look at a real-world example that flawlessly combines all of this. Check this out. You are a professional copywriter. Boom, that's the role. Write a product description. There's the task. For wireless headphones targeting college students, that's your context. 150 word. There is a strict constraint. Keep the tone energetic and modern, and that dictates the output format and style. By providing this exact structure, your eager intern knows exactly how to succeed, and the probability engine is locked onto exactly the text you need. No guesswork involved.
And there you have it. You now understand the true foundation of AI, how large language models actually predict tokens, and the precise 5-part anatomy required to steer them. You literally hold the reins to one of the most powerful tools ever created. So I want to leave you with one final question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. What are you going to direct your AI intern to build next? Thank you so much for joining me today, and hey, happy prompting!